Hi, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. So for the next 45 minutes, we will dig more into AI and how you can start using it, how you do prompts, iterate the prompts, and also how you prompt for scenario-based learning. I think we should wait a couple of more seconds before, so people can log in before we get started. So while we wait for everyone to join, why don't you find the chat and write where you're sitting? It'd be really cool to see where you are all located. Let me see here. There we go. Yeah, and then we have Josh here. We have from let me see, from London. So 2 from London, St. Louis. Cool. New Jersey. And then we have Portland, Oregon. And we have in Oslo. I'm also located in Oslo, Norway. And we also have from Germany, Los Angeles. And we have in Norway, Vassar. That's always nice to see. And we have from Portland, Abu Dhabi, Denmark, Argentina. That's really cool to see. Wow, we are definitely an international bunch here, so that's always fun. Let me go ahead and share my slides here so we can get started. There we go. So as I mentioned, today we will dig into the mind of Josh Cavalier, and he will tell more about AI and how you can prompt like a pro. And he will share hands-on tips and tricks on how you do prompting. And I will also at the end have a very short demonstration of our tool We Are, in case you want to see how easy it is to use AI to craft your own scenarios. And if we get time, I will also ask Josh a few questions at the end after my demonstration. So if you have any questions, feel free to write it in the chats. It will be open during this webinar. Feel free to ask, and we will either answer at the end, or of course we will reach out to you also after the webinar. So feel free to use the chats. My name is Stine, so I am a senior instructional designer working here at We Are Learning. And for those of you that wonder, this webinar is hosted by us in We Are. And We Are is an AI-powered tool, and that is a next generation course authoring tool for immersive learning. So with our tool, you are able to create animated videos and also scenarios with the help of AI. And here is also a QR code if you want to book a demo. And here you see my beautiful colleagues. We are a fairly international team, mostly located in Scandinavia and in Norway. And the topic today is all about AI and how you as an instructional designer can get started using it, and especially for scenario-based learning. And we will dig into what is generative AI. How can you really make prompts that works? And how can you iterate these prompts to get exactly what you would like to have? And I also know that Josh will talk more about how you prompt for scenario-based learning. And also at the end, we will have a demo and some questions for Josh. And one funny thing about this photo is that I actually prompted this by using ChatGPT. And here you see my prompt. So create a picture illustrating work smarter with AI, 3D Pixar style, something in between of real life and Pixar. And I iterated my prompt, adding the target audience is instructional designers. And I think it's really funny to see what AI came up with. So he changed the character from being a male to a female. And I know up to 70% of instructional designers are often female. So that was quite funny to see how fast and smart AI was. And does anyone know what happened 23rd of January this year? Well, it's not a very important date, but I remember it very well. ChatGPT was down, and it was down for many minutes. And I remember I got that feeling like, what do I do? What do I do now? I was kind of had to stop for a few seconds and like think. And I think that says it all, like how integrated it is a part of our life, how much we use it every day when we are creating content and when we are creating learning. And so for me, and I guess a lot for you as well, you use AI one way or another when you are creating courses and learning. But do we use it efficiently enough? Do we iterate our prompts well enough? And if you haven't started using it that much, how can you really get started using it the best possible way? And I think this is a good backdrop for what we will cover for the next 45 minutes, and also the insights that Josh will give us. And I'm very thrilled to announce our guest speaker here today, so Josh Cavalier. And he is definitely a true pioneer in the L&D space with over 30 years of experience in the industry. And he's also the founder of joshcavalier.ai, where he helps organizations use the power of AI, generative AI, to really create impactful learning experiences. You may know him from his popular YouTube channel or his live shows called Brainstorm, where he breaks down very complex AI topics into clear, actionable insights that anyone in L&D can use. He also has a book coming up called Applying AI in Learning and Development that we are super excited about. So without any further ado, Josh, let's welcome Josh to the stage. Hi there, Josh. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Hi. Excited for the webinar?
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
And Stine, I just went ahead and put in the chat the link to the prompts. So hopefully everyone can at least download those and take a look at them before I get into all the details.
Perfect.
Hopefully they have access.
Yeah.
There's always, made a share request. Hold on, everybody. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
I knew something was going to happen with that.
Well,
we'll come back to that document. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the presentation, and then so hold tight, people. I will re-upload that document with share rights at the end. So you're gonna have to be patient now.
Okay. Before I give you the word, I would love to have a question for the audience. So while I've put up the question, I guess also you can check out the document if you want, Josh. And the question for you. Have you tried using AI to build learning content yet? So we would love for you to write in the chats either 1, 2, 3, or 4. So 1, I use it regularly. 2, I've experienced only a little. And no yet, I'm curious. And this is my first look. So what kind of numbers do we have here? So number 1, yeah. I see a lot of 1 and 2s. Yeah, so you do have some experience for sure. Now, here we have a number 4. That's also very interesting, and I'm pretty sure this webinar is for both those are number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's good to see. Oh, we have 1.5 here. Haven't moved beyond research, outlining and starting to generate images. Leslie here. So that's really cool to see. Nice. I think I'm gonna leave. There we go. There we have Josh also showing the download. So it probably has the correct access links.
I sure hope so. This is one of the reasons why I don't think agents are going to take over the world. We're trying to just, hey, all right, we could get access. Excellent.
Okay, perfect. I think it's all. The floor is yours, Josh.
Oh, thanks, Stine. I really appreciate it. Hey, good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone from around the world. I'm Josh. If we haven't met, this is my 31st year in learning and development, and I'm really excited to go ahead and just take about a half hour and go over some thoughts around scenario-based training. I have been doing scenario-based training my whole entire career, And I got started in the mid 1990s doing scenarios for the banking industry, right? A lot of exciting compliance training and customer service based training when it comes to bank tellers. So I have been doing it for quite some time. But fast forward, now we have artificial intelligence to be a collaborator when building scenarios. So I have a presentation. I'm going to get into it. And I want to be clear that, let me get into this. Hey, here we go. All right. I want to be clear that when you're working with a generative AI, it is very much garbage in, garbage out. And what I mean by that is you want to always be using a source of truth, whether it be part of your prompt, documents you upload, images you upload, whatever reference content that you have, it must be a source of truth. So with that, the reason why I'm going to be doing a little bit of review right here on general scenario concepts, these are things that you need to consider before you create your prompt. So if you go up to ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude and simply ask it for scenario-based training script, that is not enough. I mean, you'll get something, but the question that you need to ask, is it 95% done? Is it only 50% done? And you have to go in and do more work. Essentially, what we are attempting to do is get to a point where the output from ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Grok, whatever model you have, is 95 or 100% complete. That is the goal. And so if we're striving towards that goal, we need to make sure that we have constraints in the way that we set up our prompt. And so with that, let's get into it. And I first want to just go in and review just general scenario development with AI. So again, if you've developed scenario training, this is old hat. This is just a quick review. I'll get into the AI in just a second. But again, what problem are you trying to solve? What is the identified knowledge, skill, or behavior gap? How will your audience consume the scenario? So is it on their mobile phone? Is it on a desktop? Is it both? What are you measuring? Right? So are we moving the needle? Are we having impact with this scenario training? What tools do you have to build the scenario training? And Stine is going to show us We Are platform here in just a little bit. Great tool for scenario training. This also includes AI. So do you have tools to actually help you build out the architecture of a branching scenario? Do you have AI tools to help you create images that go with that associated branching scenario? Again, you want to evaluate, see what you have, because believe it or not, it goes into the prompt. That's right. We are going to reference tools. We're going to reference different structures or architectures within these tools to help us create more effective scripts. And then finally, what can be automated? That's right. So when you break down all the steps that it takes to create wonderful scenario-based training, what part of those steps can be automated using generative AI? So just to review some core scenario formats, you can go ahead and you can create text or comic-based training. And, this is great for policy or even ethics type courses. Interactive video, that's one of my favorites. I've created some incredible interactive video courses in the past with hotspots and interactions. This is great for service, customer service, sales-based training. You can do 2D serious games depending upon what kind of tools you have to build. This is great for process training and compliance. And also those high-end fidelity simulations when you're doing those safety critical trainings, technical skills, all of that. And of course, there's also 3D. And again, Stine is going to go ahead and show what can be done inside of the We Are environment. So many different options here in regards to branching and interactions, in which you'll see here in just a little bit. We also have immersive technologies, which you can take advantage of. And all of these types of scenarios, or types of interactions, whether it be 2D or interactive video or the 3D environment like we are, this is going to be referenced in your prompt. In addition, these advanced formats like virtual reality, augmented reality, and AI conversational bots, which can also be a scenario, it's going to be part of your prompt. Keep in mind that as you move forward, foundation models like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude have within its training data anything and everything you need to create great scenarios. The key here is referencing information in your prompt to extract out of the model the structure, the flow, and the storyboard in that scenario. So it's already there, but we have to go in and create a prompt that will extract out of the model what you need, right? We also want to make sure that in our prompt, we put in design for retention. Yes, put it in your prompt. Spaced repetition, retrieval practice, storytelling, big one, right? And even a debrief at the end. What type of adult learning principles do you want to implement within your scenario? They must be mentioned in your prompt. Don't make any assumptions that a large language model is going to add that in there for you automatically. We are not there yet. When we get to artificial general intelligence, we might have another conversation, but today you have to be the one to guide or steer the ship here when it comes to the prompt. Also, in regards to the reinforcement models, you can add that into your prompt. So if you have, beyond just the scenario, additional touch points for your audience members, add it in there. Yeah, believe it or not, ChatGPT can go in and plan these elements for you, whether it be a micro scenario drip, a blended workshop for actually hands-on. Yeah, we still can do human-to-human workshops, scenario-based assessments, and on-the-job guided reality. Yeah, sure, throw it in there. See what it gives you as far as planning. So when we think about creating a scenario, here are 5 elements that I like to incorporate into my scenarios. Context. So again, this has to be real stakes. You want to make it as real as possible. We also want to go ahead and give challenge. So it just can't be, so easy they blow through the scenario. Decisions that matter or decisions that have impact. Also plausible choices. This has to be real world. And so when you create your prompt, we need to make sure that whatever the topic is, that when we give choices to our audience members, they may have to stop and think for a moment, right? So the more detailed that you can get with your choices, the better. Also, what are the consequences? And then what is the output of the consequence? Is it just going to be some type of dialogue or text feedback, or are they going to loop back into the scenario and try it again? And then finally, at the end, a debrief. And this is good for reflection, and I always like to put it at the end of my scenarios. So with that, all of these elements are inside of a prompt. And, there's other characteristics or things to consider as far as like retention per dollar. You prioritize text interactive video for behavior change, high fidelity simulations, soft skill coaching. You could have AI conversational bots. And for motivation for disengaged learners, you can have some serious games in there. Again, there's all kinds of different strategies here. The bottom line is that there's a lot of diverse options when it comes to creating scenario-based training. You want to make sure that you're extremely clear on that solution before you create it. Now, for those of you that have downloaded the sample prompts, you can see that I have 4 samples that are in there. So it's just not a single prompt for a scenario. There are 4 different prompts with very different outputs depending upon the style or type of scenario that you are creating. Then As far as like some build tips, again, you can put this into the prompt. We want to go ahead and have natural speech within the prompt. So depending upon the tone of voice, what the culture is within your environment, add it into the prompt. We also want to go in and prototype early. So, what the great thing is about working with AI is you can go in and quickly create these scenarios or scripts and then implement them by just going in and creating maybe 1 or 2 levels of the scenario. Avoiding complexity. Yeah, as far as decision making, AI can go to town for you. What I mean by that is if you wanted to have an extremely complex scenario, AI can go ahead and build the branching structure for you. Don't know if you want to go back that far because there's a maintenance issue. So if you build it, you still have to maintain it. And I'm going to show you a neat little trick in regards to diagramming your scenario. And then what are the follow-ups? Again, you can work with AI to go in and create a whole plan for you beyond the scenario itself and maybe give you some ideas as far as additional touch points beyond the initial scenario training. So all kinds of really cool things that you can do here. And with that, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you an example of a prompt. And let me just switch over to here. And let me show you what I did. So this prompt is in the document that I gave you. And I'm going to break it down for you and show you the results. So again, I'm trying to avoid typing a lot here. And let's take a moment and examine what's inside this prompt and why each bit of information is in here. First, when you create a highly detailed prompt, you're going to want to go in and identify like the specifics or those inputs. Remember, I mentioned that clean information or that clean data. This is where words are important. Words are important. So when I go in and I look at the role, act as an expert instructional designer, specializing in scenario-based learning, text-based branching scenarios in this case. Now, the reason why I want to add that into a prompt is that the words that you use have a direct impact on the results coming back. Anytime that you work with a large language model, the results are based upon probability, at least with the foundation models here today. So by going in and using the words expert, instructional, and designer right next to each other, any and all words related to instructional design, especially with experts, has a higher probability of returning. So I always use role when I'm doing work, whether I'm writing a LinkedIn post or even some emails or whatever the case may be. I always mention a role. Next, what's the goal? This is the task. So we want a very clear goal. What is what do you want AI to do for you? Create a text-based or comic-style script branching scenario focused on handling confidential customer data correctly. Now, you can put anything you want here. And you'll notice that in the document that I supplied to you, it indicates where to put your information. So you can make this prompt your own. You don't have to run the same exact prompt that I'm running here. This scenario should effectively close identified knowledge and skill gaps. Now, about the identified knowledge and skill gap, in addition to this prompt, you could upload a document that has those identified knowledge and skill gaps or behavior gaps in it, or you can add it to the prompt. You would just simply list it right here in the goal. I've kept it generic for the sake of this demonstration. All right, let's continue. Now, the target audience. New customer service representatives. The scenario will be delivered via a standalone web module. Now, this is kind of like a 2-for-1 deal here. First, who are we targeting? We can be more specific here, depending upon socioeconomic information, their personas, whatever the case may be. It can be more detailed. Also, what tool are we using? The scenario will be delivered via standalone web module, or I should say, I'm sorry, what channel are they going to be consuming the information through? So is it going to be via the web? Is it going to be via mobile? Is it going to be just an interactive video? What is it? Through the LMS? We want that information in there. Measurement, yeah, got to measure it. So the scenario should allow us to access the learner's ability to identify the correct procedure in 3 different situations. Will track their choices and final outcomes. So again, you want to make sure that there's some type of mechanism in here that adheres to the tool that you're working with. Today it's We Are. And how are we going to track those decision-making processes in there? Okay, now we get into those core elements, the 4 C's and the debrief. So remember let me go back here real quick. Remember this one right here. Whoops, right? Context, challenge, choices, consequences, and debrief. There was a reason why I put this slide up here, everyone, right? I want to make sure that my scenarios incorporate these core elements of scenario training in the prompt. So if you go back to the prompt, there they are. They're right there. Oh, I'm sorry. Go back up. It's a big prompt. So the first thing I have is context. Establish a realistic setting. Clearly state the situation and the stakes involved. Example, you're Alex, and so on. Use a simple storytelling arc. Character conflict resolution. The challenge. Present a clear decision point that matters. The learner must actively decide what to do. Start with, what would you do? Again, you can make this your own. This is just a framework that you can go in and modify. And please take the time and look it over and decide how you would want to make this your own. Let's continue. The consequences. Again, for each choice, describe a realistic, immediate outcome. Show, just don't tell. Provide specific feedback explaining why the outcome occurred and linking it back to a relevant policy or principle. Again, natural script. What else we got here? Branching and complexity. Very detailed prompt. Map out the scenario flow. Each consequence should lead to either the scenario's conclusion or another challenge. Keep the overall structure manageable, so on. And then we have a debrief at the end. Regardless of the path taken, conclude with a summary. Include reflection prompts. So again, a moment for the audience member or for the associate to reflect on the whole entire scenario. Then we have the outputs here. Present the scenario as a script, clearly indicating scene descriptions, character dialogue, decision points, numbered choices, consequences, and feedback. This is it right here. This is the output that I am looking for. Now, depending upon the tool that you're using, because I know many of you are using other authoring tools that are out there. This right here is, you want to make sure you nail this, okay? You want to be actionable on the output of the prompt. And so we are telling in this case, ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, I've teed you up with all this information. This is how I need the storyboard. This is what I need. And then we have a final debrief at the end. Okay, well, I ran the prompt ahead of time. Let's see what we get here. Look how positive it is. Of course, here's a complete text-based branching scenario script following your detailed request on handling confidential customer data, targeting new customer service representatives, including the 4 C's and debrief section. Hey, so far, so good. I'll lay it out: scene descriptions, dialogue, decision points, choices, consequences, branching paths, and suggest simple visuals. Excellent. Let's go. And it does the trick. Let me tell you, this is amazing what it created here. So I have the situation, I have the narration, I have the choices, and the consequences here. All set up, ready to go. That's scene 1. Here's scene number 2. Comic panel, Alex screen shows a live chat, message blinking, the narration, the challenge 2. How should you respond? And the choices. And it goes on and on, right? Now, watch, this is really cool. When I get down to the bottom, and there's the debrief, it asks me, I'm so sorry. It asks me, let me get here. Would you like me to provide a flowchart diagram of the branching structure? It could be helpful when you're planning to build this into your web module. Yes, please. Yes, please make this flowchart. And so it went in and it used Python to draw the diagram here. And I downloaded the PNG. Let me grab it real quick. Oh, hold on one second. I'm so sorry. It's like the drum roll, and here it is. I'll bring it over. Yes, there it is right there. Look at that. So now this is ChatGPT going in and drawing the diagram based upon the situation. I mean, this is a huge time saver. Here's a little tip for you. This is currently a PNG file. If you want to make the flowchart editable, ask for SVG. SVG. That stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. And that will allow you to take whatever image is created and put it into an application like Adobe Illustrator to go in and make updates. I think you can even import it into PowerPoint if you wanted to as an SVG, ungroup it, and then edit that as you move forward. Okay, so I want to just do one more demo and then hand it over to Stine, because I know that we're run out of time. So real quick, I just want to show you one other technique, and I'm going to do this really fast because of time. But I'm going to go ahead and make a brand new chat. You should do that every single time you do a task in ChatGPT. I'm going to go over to the document. Bear with me while I open that up. So I'm going to open up the document. I'm going to just grab a prompt here real quick. I'm going to show you a little trick. So the prompt I'm going to use is for the We Are platform. Real quick, it's the 3D branching scenario. It's the last prompt in that document I gave you. I'm going to paste it in here. I am not going to add anything else here, but check this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to upload from my computer. Let's see here. Bear with me one second. Here we go. These images, they're all the characters in We Are. They're all the emotions in We Are. They're all the locations. And there's also like some programming notes as far as the notes. I'm giving AI all these details about my authoring environment. So I'm going to just open these up and I'm adding all those images in there. And then I'm going to go in and right under the target audience, and I'm just going to say here, use all the emotions, characters, and scenes. Oh, sorry. I gave you. We'll see what happens here. So it now says the scenario will be delivered via a specific platform, not like it is We Are, using all the emotion, using the, not all, got to be specific, using the emotions, characters, and scenes I gave you right here. Go. So I didn't, it's going to be generic because I didn't give it a specific scenario. Handling a customer complaint. Oh, so here we go. Here's Sarah, there's Leo, there's Linda. The emotions used: angry, skeptical, surprised, confident, happy, neutral, sad, excited. So now it is creating a specific storyboard for the We Are environment. Isn't that cool? So whatever tool you're using, you can go ahead and upload screenshots of the development environment and let it give you exactly what you need. And with that, I think, Stine, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you for a little demo of We Are.
Wow, this is amazing, Josh. That's worth going over your time, and to really see this is yeah, truly amazing to see. I haven't seen anything like it before. So amazing. Thank you so much for your insights. Yeah, I know also we're going to share your document in the following email after this session, so you will also get it sent to your email. And we will also, I hope I do have some minutes for some questions after my quick demo of We Are. And this was a good transition to what I'm going to show. So yeah, thank you. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, and you can always jump on at the end of my presentation, Josh. Let me see here. There we go. As Josh has talked about, and that's for we're covering in this webinar, is how can you utilize AI to make what we like to call immersive learning in We Are. And with our technology, you can create engaging and realistic scenarios within seconds. And here, learners can really practice in a safe environment. What happens if you do anything wrong, or what happens if a colleague comes up to you being furious, or yeah. So we often talk about those soft skills and topics like leader development, communication, customer service, onboarding, and compliance training. So there is a lot we can cover. And we truly believe that anyone can create immersive learning within minutes with our tool. And I would like to have a live demo of how you can do that. But before I dig into We Are and showing you the tool, I would love to show a few seconds of a video showing exactly what you can create with We Are. Let me see here. I'll just want to share it with sound.
Today, you'll step into the shoes of a team member behind the counter.
Hi there, I'd like a Chick-fil-A deluxe sandwich and a medium waffle fries and a large sweet tea, please.
Got it, a sandwich, fries, and tea.
Throughout this course, we'll cover 5 key learning moments that help you master your role.
Hi there. I'm trying to remodel my kitchen, but I'm overwhelmed by all the cabinet styles. Can you help me figure out what would work best for my space? All right, team, we need to finalize our strategy for the upcoming project. Any ideas on how we should approach this?
Consider this.
Yes, I would love to show you more, but let's just dive straight into We Are, where I can show you quickly how you create what we like to call a story. Let me go ahead. There we go. So now I'm logged into We Are, and here you see a lot of different stories. This is our demo account, and to go ahead and create your first story, you can just go ahead and click in the top right corner here, and here you have 3 options. You can either create a story from scratch, and I think most of you would like full control over everything, but you can also in the middle here use Aiko, which is our AI bot, to help you create a story. And the third option, this one is really cool. Here you can download, you can upload a PDF to your We Are account, and we will convert this PDF into a story. So this is a perfect way of converting your slide, your PowerPoint, into a story with seconds. But let us just use now Aiko as a quick introduction here. So Aiko first asks us, do we want to create a story or an interactive story? Let us just go for a regular story, and I'll show you how easy it is to make this one an interactive one. And here you would need to do the prompting. I have one ready. I'm not sure if Josh is happy with this one. It's a fairly short one. You're Alex, a financial officer at a large corporate corporation reflecting on suspicious transactions you've spotted. Amounts just under reporting limits, unknown vendors, and a vague invoices. Talk through the red flags, your understanding of money laundering risk, and what action you'll take. Explain clearly why these signs matter. And now I can just go ahead and pick location. Here you can upload your own location. I just uploaded this one. AI generated, and then you need to choose what kind of language the character should speak, and you will also need to choose what kind of characters you would like to have in your story. And of course, you can make custom ones if you have a specific uniform, a specific person. Let me just find my perfect one here. Let me go for this one. If you click on the name here, you can also choose what kind of AI voice you should
Tell me
have.
and I forget.
In learning, we find the courage to
Learning is not.
Yeah, we integrate with Azure and 11 Labs, and this list keeps on growing. Let us just go for Chris. We give this guy a name and we give him some characteristics. And now we do get a summary of what we would like our story to be about. And I'll just hit generate story. And now I get a suggestion of the script. I can, of course, regenerate this, but for now, let us just click animate story. And now Aiko will go ahead and create the story for us. So the AI bot will, what you see here is our node map. And here you have our different nodes. You see the script being chunked up into smaller segments. And I, of course, have full control editing this later. But let us just see now out of the box what AI has created for us.
I've been reviewing our recent transactions, and I can't shake this unsettling feeling. Something just isn't right. There are multiple transactions just under the reporting limits. It's almost as if someone is trying to avoid scrutiny.
Yeah, cautious of time, so let us just not go through it all. But here you see the story that AI has created for us. And of course, we can now go ahead and edit the script. We have AI here to improve your writing. And one other cool thing is that we also have the possibility to fine tune the different kind of body posture, how he is standing. You do have many cool ones to choose from. He can also type on computer and sit and so on. And you also have a facial expression. Now he's worried, but you can choose from many others. And you also have a library of over 100 different gestures that you can choose from. So specific hand movements you want to add to your story. And we are AR powered. So of course you have this auto animate as well that you can use. So you can basically just write your script and click auto animate, and we will of course add the best gestures and idols based on your script. And of course our characters are all in 3D, so you can move them around, and you can also go ahead and add up to 5 different characters. So I'll just go ahead and add, let me see here. I'll go ahead and add her. Add to casts. Now I have 2 people in my story, and I can go in here and add Nina as well. And now we have 2 people, and they can also have a conversation. And also this over the shoulder perspective is also very fun to play around with. We also, it's very easy now to just go ahead and delete and add different response nodes. So these are actually buttons that appear in your story. And here you can kind of, for those that have worked with scenario-based learning, you can go ahead and play around with how your story should play out. And one other cool thing is that you can also, we have AI integrated here. So in the top corner, you can always ask Aiko. So here, 2 colleagues at a corporation spot suspicious transaction. One ask a key question with 3 answer options. Here we go. Now I get the question. Let me see. I've noticed some suspicious transactions, and we can go ahead and add the different answer possibilities. Let me see. Let's go for these 2. I'll just hit play and see what we get.
I've noticed some suspicious transactions in our recent reports. What do you think our first step should be?
And now we have the two different options. So based on what I'm clicking, I'll be routed to that correct branch. And you can, of course, also loop them back together in the correct track. So that was a very quick demo of how We Are works. One other thing I would like to show you quickly at the end here is also something called open response, where we use AI to have free speech with a character. So I'll play this for a few seconds so you see.
Today, you'll step into the shoes of a Carrefour employee to handle some common customer interactions. After each scenario, I will provide specific feedback for your choice to help you learn and grow. Let's dive in. You're feeling a bit stressed with stacks of products waiting to be unpacked and shelved when a customer approaches you with a question. Excuse me, I can't seem to find the baking soda. Could you help me?
Sure, let me show you where it is.
Perfect response. Walking the customer to the product shows attentiveness and care. It demonstrates the high level of service we strive for at Carrefour and ensures a positive shopping experience.
I bought this bottle of wine yesterday, and it's corked. This is completely unacceptable.
So what you saw these three different options before, but this second scenario now just includes this microphone, or I can type. I also have this tips here, so I'll just use the mic. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me get my manager.
Fine, but I was hoping someone here could take care of this without passing me around.
And then I get response. So here you see the node map for this story, and you have full control as a learning designer to kind of route you to the correct branch. But AI will listen to what I'm saying and route you where you should be going. So the learner sees this as free speech with the character, but you as a learning designer, you have full control over the script. Good. I think I'll round up this demo now, but now you have a good overview of how easy it is for you to create scenario-based training within our tool. Nice. Okay. I think since we are a bit over time, Josh, why don't you join me on stage here, and we can round up this session. I said I would love to ask you a question or two. Let us just keep it for one. And one of my questions would be for those, I saw in the chat that we do have some 3 and 4. So those that haven't used AI that much, how would you recommend instructional designers to start using AI if they don't have that much experience yet?
Sure. Everyone here is an expert in what they do. And I always point towards the tasks that you do day in and day out, whether it be writing a multiple choice question, a storyboard, whatever the case may be. That's where you begin. I mean, you start with what you do every single day, but then use AI as a collaborator in the process. And you may just go ahead and prompt a simple task. That's where you start, because you can then, as an expert, evaluate the outputs and then continue working with the model.
Great reflection. I guess it's just what you also said, garbage in, garbage out. I love that quote. Yeah, so great reflections. And once again, thank you so much for your insight. It was so cool to see you're doing it live, and also prompting for whatever tool you might be using, just uploading images and kind of tailor the prompting to the tool you're using. So thank you so much for that, Josh.
I was also impressed with you getting that demo done in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was
Thank
impressive.
Thank you for noticing.
Stine.
Cool. So rounding up here, I would love or recommend people to check out your website. I've linked it here, joshcavalier.ai. And also you have a book coming up here. So I know my colleague Maria will post a link. It's on pre-sale. Anything you want to add before we round up, Josh?
No, I would say I would hope that everybody beyond this seminar, that you have a personal learning plan around AI for the rest of 2025. If you don't, please take the time and figure out what you're doing each and every day to learn about AI.
Great insight. Great. Okay, so just a few other important things I would love to mention. We do have another webinar coming up fairly soon, Designing that Delivers. So for actionable ways to make e-learning engaging and effective, here is a link if you want to join. That is together with our partner at FlowSparks. And we also have once a month, I have a session where I will go more deep into VR. So more than 10 minutes, I will use an hour to show you how you step-by-step create a story yourself. So VR is not a complex tool, but it's a great demonstration of the tool and what's possible to do. And if the time is not perfect, you can always register and you will always get the recording sent to your email after. And we do also have a customer community. So those are a member or a customer of us or free trial users. And you're always welcome to join. Here we post a lot of inspiring stories and also about like how to prompt the best possible way in VR. So for those interested and want more inspiration, I recommend you joining our community. And also follow us on social media. Okay, I think that was it. Thank you once again, Josh, for your great insight. I've learned a lot.
Great.
Yeah, and I wish everyone a great rest of your day. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or would like to learn more. Okay, wishing you a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.